Thanks, Richard.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Schwartz. May the Schwartz be with you.
And with you. Good morning, Your Honor.
I don't know. After hearing him calm and talking about the tether story, it's probable.
Go down to the county attorney's office. I think you'll find a lot of humans down there.
All right.
No disrespect.
Stop driving.
Flirting with the judge in front of my dad.
What's going on? This is Colin. May the Schwartz be with you. That was a really good little snippet. All right, first guy. I told you last week I would be waiting for 3 p.m. today. They started a little late, but they still came through. So this one's a fun one. Before I get started, if anyone sees John Harley in the chat, please let me know. He sent a, well, maybe somebody on his behalf sent a kind of upsetting message in one of the comments. So if anyone sees John Harley, please be like, hey, he's here. Anyways, this one's good. It's a follow-up from last week. You remember this guy. I even started it with a little recap. But before we get into it, you already know what to do. Like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Gotta do your cardio every day. And if you want to, only if you want to, you can donate to the Support Colin, the Creator Fund, the Demonetization Fund, Coolin' with Colin Fund, whatever you want to call it. Links in the description. I appreciate each and every one of you just for watching and liking and subscribing. All right, let's go.
Well, I just had to pull over because some people work for a living.
Oh, here we go.
Well, yeah, here we go.
Yeah, probably wouldn't handle this type of
I'll
case.
hire an attorney. I'll hire a real one.
All right. Well, legal aid attorneys are among the most knowledgeable landlord-tenant attorneys out there, but nonetheless, you can choose who you wish. I'm going to continue this to next Friday at 3 o'clock.
Okay, I'll have my attorney extend it.
All right. Now, you need to be here live. And if you
I'll be there.
give me an insult or you roll your eyes at me like you did here, I'm going to have the bailiff take you into custody for contempt. So you need to be here live in person at 3 o'clock next Friday. You don't get a Zoom privilege.
I don't want to be privileged. I want to be live.
All right. Well, you will be here live and you will be respectful.
I'm generally respectful, except for when somebody's stealing from my parents.
All right.
But I
well,
have documentation and proof.
All right. Well, that's all well and good. That may be something for another case. This matter is about the fact they want you to vacate the house so they can sell it. And it isn't a family vote. The personal representative gets to make that choice. So I will see you next Friday at 3 o'clock live here at the courthouse.
Yeah, I probably should have given you a little heads up. I did. I put the little clips in just so you knew what was coming. But this is that guy. And he is live in the courthouse. Judge Middleton. Let's go. Oh, and also all the people that were in the little pop-ups, that was from last week's stream. So yeah, you guys got some shout outs from. All right, now let's go. Dude is already killed it on the vibes. He's just sitting there patient. He's doing a really good job too.
All right. We've been sitting here in awkward silence waiting for you to appear, Mr. Langland. It seemed like you'd be a better job of naming yourself other than iPhone 3. Tamara is here and Mr. McCurchie is here. So let's call this case. This is file 231416 and subtitled The Estate of Linda Lou Hahn versus David McCurchie. Tamara Carver is the personal representative of the estate. Mr. McCurchie is one of the heirs of the estate and is residing at the property at 20393 US 12. We were here last week on October 27th. We were here by Zoom. I directed Mr. McCurchie to be here live, and he is live. He was on time. He was very unhappy about the whole process and was going to retain counsel. We continued the matter until today. He's expressly indicated he didn't wish to have legal aid represent him. Mr. Langland, is your position the same as it was last week?
You said they wouldn't represent me. My attorney's out of town right now,
Okay.
out of the country, Costa Rica.
All right, Mr. Langland, are you of the same position you were last week?
I am, Your Honor. I apologize for my tardiness. I got caught up in a traffic situation that was unavoidable. But anyhow, yes, the defendant has no claim to this property other than that he has a, I believe it's a 1/5 interest in the corpus of the probate estate. It doesn't give him any greater rights to the property than anybody else. And as I indicated to the court before, the plaintiff in this matter is a successor trustee. And the reason we needed a successor trustee is because no one would evict this gentleman from the property so it could be marketed and sold. And the probate court determined that was an improper action by the prior personal representative, and that's why this plaintiff was substituted. And now we're in the same position, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. McCurchie is here. Mr. McCurchie, what's your position?
Well, my position is I didn't get notified of the last one. I wouldn't have went and met my brother for drinks. I wouldn't even have known about the probate court or whatever, her taking over. I don't know where the probate court got involved because my three brothers, it didn't get rushed around because nobody did anything to it. I had a daughter and a brother living there using it for a flop house for almost a year, and they were tearing it up. I went home between Thanksgiving and Christmas last year. Faucet was broke, yard hadn't been touched, shit was gone. And my oldest brother said, like he said, it's paid for. It ain't costing us nothing. I didn't get a letter. Only reason I found because I was going to contest it, and he said he would call the judge, and we would have a hearing. If anybody was going to contest it, he said, I'll call him. And now all of a sudden, and the reason why I locked the place up because everybody was stealing, her being one of them.
Well, at this point,
And it has a list of like 40 some items that won't pass code. So you're gonna cash sale it. She's so greedy for money, apparently. But the problem is I don't live there. I come home every weekend and I work on that place. I've renovated the kitchen, both bathrooms, a bedroom. I put rails up on most of the ramps where my mom had them built. I got mad when she stole totes of gun parts. And who knows what, I know she told an antique wooden box, so I locked the house up.
all right, well, the probate court appointed her as a,
Well, because I couldn't be there because I didn't know about it.
to perfect this, to get the house vacated so it can be sold.
It was already in the process.
All right, well, you're one of the heirs.
It was already in the process. That attorney talked to my brother. Me and my brother Daryl had already had a state out there. She went through the whole property, told us how much it would cost, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden this happens. And Daryl even told him, the attorney, or he said, well, you'd be willing to take over the executive of the account for the estate. And you know, it just is what I don't live there. I come home every weekend, 2 or 3 days. I poured cement pads out
All
there.
right, well, here, stop doing any more work to the place. I'm disappointed. You and I spent a lot of time in our probation program and you and your brother are drinking again, but that's, life goes on. You have 10 days to move out
Yep.
by October 13th. Excuse me, November. I've been doing that all November 13th. You have to November 13th to appeal this. I had a case the other day where they were evicting the only two heirs. So they were gonna evict the heirs, sell the property, and then they got the money. Except there were probably other creditors that needed to be paid, and I'm not sure what the circumstances of
That's
this.
all she was up to her. She owes them $20,000 just like I do for a truck. I took my mom's car, she took her dad's truck.
Well, then there will be other bills from the estate. I'm not sure what the value of this property is.
I know how it's gonna go. But I will be appealing it because I wanna be seeing
All
all
right,
the checking accounts.
well, you do have 10 days to appeal this. But you have 10 days to vacate unless there's some sort of a stay. Mr. McCurchy, if you go out to the court office, we'll give you a copy of this order.
I don't need it.
Well, why don't you get one anyway, just so you can share it with your brother. All right, I'll ask the bailiff to take that out. Mr. Langland, what happened to you? Mr. McCurchy was cursing his way out of here, but I don't feel the need to, All right, your lawyer left. I'm not sure what happened to him. He was late and then anyway, he's got 10 days to move.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Frank took it out the other way.
Okay, thanks, Judge.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, that was it. The guy came back. I like how everyone's saying he was drinking. Yeah, he might have been. I don't know. That dude though. There's going to be more of a fight, and luckily we lost Judge. No, I'm not going to say luckily, but we lost Judge Simpson. So we always Judge Middleton every day now, and Judge DeSanto. We limited the courts that we watch every day. Next one is all right. I did this morning. I said it was a funny one. No, this one is a funny one. This is a funny one. This is a good one. It's a funny one, and then we get into a serious case. But this next one is just a little funny tidbit. Let's have some fun. It's Friday. Let's have a little fun.
January 6th at 10 o'clock a.m.
Judge, make that.
This judge, by the way, I just started watching him. He's hilarious. He messes with everybody, his staff, the other attorneys. He has a good personality. And you'll see it here. I'm gonna watch him. Why I don't know why I'm repeating myself. I'm gonna watch him a lot more going forward because I just like his personality.
January 5th. The 6th is a Saturday. I'm sorry.
The 6th is a what?
A Saturday.
Oh, is
Let's
it?
do the 5th.
Okay,
Yeah.
how's the 5th, Mr. Hunter?
That works, Your Honor.
All right.
You said the 6th.
The 5th.
5th.
The
Oh.
6th, he just said, is a Saturday.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
just transposed that.
4, 5, the 5th.
5th. Day after the 4.
All right, Cal. Happy Friday to you too, Cal.
Hey, Cal. Hey, Al.
Oh.
Hey, Al. Like Broadman from the 5th
Fifth
floor.
floor. It's Friday.
It's Friday. See, I get me. See,
I
Cal.
see.
Big
So,
Al.
Cal,
All right.
you.
All right, Mr. Samuel Hunter.
All right, Judge. Have a
Good
good
seeing you.
weekend.
Have a good
And
weekend,
keep,
Mr. Hunter.
go grab those pants from whatever
Oh, yeah.
Ole Miss. Y'all,
Hey,
y'all,
look, don't knock it. I can get about 4 pair for about $20.
all right.
Don't bend over in them, that's all.
Y'all have a good weekend.
See you later.
Y'all have a good weekend.
All right, you too.
All right.
See you, Mr. Hunter.
All right. Bye-bye.
See, that was a little fun. His case, I don't know what kind of cases he sees. The ones that I saw weren't that serious. He did a lot of traffic matters, but that's his personality throughout his entire docket. His court staff was logging in with different names to mess with him all day long. I like it. It's a lighthearted staff, and I appreciate that because that's what I would do if I was in that position. Yes, Judge Simpson. If you have not heard, all right, Lucy, I'm glad you're here. I'm going to say this because I see your name. Lucy is the person who sent me this next clip. It's a kind of a wild clip. It's a wild clip. And I'll pause it a few times to talk through it. I just saw her name, so I wanted to make sure that I gave her a shout out. Lucy is the reason why this next clip is on my video. But Judge Simpson, their whole entire court, what is it? I don't know. I can't even think of it. The 36 something. I could even actually be wrong on that. But all the judges decided to get off YouTube. There was a new rule passed by the Supreme Court of Michigan that is focusing on people being in court in person to try to avoid default judgments. That's where it comes from. And I actually have a little clip of a lawyer complaining about it to a judge. You know what? I should have put that in this video. But the lawyers complained to the judge, and the judge is just kind of laughing at him like, yeah, no, I understand. And this lawyer says it's going to last a couple of weeks because everyone got used to Zoom. So I don't think it's permanent, but right now we're not going to see it. Judge Simpson actually started up 2 different dockets today on YouTube and then shut them down a minute after he started it. So it's almost just automatic. But yeah, for now, we lost Judge Simpson, Judge Washington, Magistrate Nelson. Magistrate Nelson even had a docket today. He had a few things on the docket today. So I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, we're not going to see a lot of those judges for the next couple of weeks. Hoping that this lawyer, I'll throw it up there. I'll throw it up on my next video so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. But there was a lawyer complaining about it, and he explained with the judge what the new rule is that passed. Anyways, this last clip's a little bit of a long one. It's a good one. It's a good, interesting, educational one. Let's say that. It starts a little slow, but it is a wild story. All right. Lucy, again, thank you for this. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. I know Law Talk with Mike just went live. I don't know why I just said that on air, but he did, and he's playing the video that I just played. But, there's enough court to go around, and I love Law Talk with Mike. And he threw up a picture with him and Biggin, so I wonder if they're together. I don't know. But, Biggin's awesome, Mike's awesome. All right, last clip. Again, it's a long one. All right, I'm done talking to myself. Let's go.
All right. Good morning. Today is August 23rd, 2023. I'm Judge Case Johnson. Excuse me. This is the matter of State of Georgia versus Eric Chilcutt. The Chilcutt is charged in warrants number 2023 WA10423, aggravated assault, 2023 WA10424, simple battery, 2023 WA10425, terroristic threats. Representing the state is Attorney Sheriff Freeman. Representing the defendant is Mr. Jabari Rogers. Your witness, Ms. Freeman.
Thank you, Your Honor. Also, Alman, you can unmute yourself.
Ms. Freeman, do you want him unmuted?
No, I'm the officer. You can stay muted, deputy. Thank you.
I want to make sure.
Officer Wildman, there should be a microphone. Oh, there you are. Yes. Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear and affirm that the testimony about to provide in the matter of state of Georgia versus Eric Shillicutt will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I swear.
You can lower your hand.
All right, like I said, this is a more serious matter, and just listen to the officer's testimony. Just listen to everybody's testimony. I really want to hear everyone's comments about how this case resolves, and I want to see the chat. I want to see what you guys think as it goes on. And Deborah Baker, I want you on panel with me so we can have a conversation. I want to talk to you about all this because I think that would be amazing, and to get your insight on what's going on. Please reach out to me. You know how to get a hold of me. At least I think you do. I don't know. All right. But police officer? Yeah. All right. Let's go.
Please tell us your name and how you're employed.
Officer Wildman, Clayton County Police Department.
How long have you worked with the Clayton County Police Department?
It's going on a year.
Done. We will do that.
Were you working with the Clayton County Police Department on June 13th of 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
On that particular day, were you dispatched to 5134 Old Grant Road in Morrow, Georgia?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that in Clayton County?
Yes, it is, ma'am.
Why were you dispatched to that location?
The victim called saying that he was attacked by Mr. Eric there with a chair, and he was being threatened with a knife.
Was this a house that you went to?
Yes, it's a I believe they call it like a open house situation where everybody have their own room that they stay in.
The victim in this case, was this Mr. Philip Rodriguez?
Yes, he lived there too.
Did Mr. Shillicutt live in this home?
He did. He had just moved in probably about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I know people are not going to like me pausing, but I don't care. Deborah, yeah, it has to be after the Bengals game. So after the Bengals game on Sunday, it's here. So I believe it's 1 o'clock. So 1 o'clock, 1 to 4, I'm going to be busy on Sunday watching the Bengals beat the Buffalo Bills. After that, so why don't we do, if you're, I don't care, early, late, we can do a 5 to 6, or we can do a 7 to 8. I don't care. It's up to you. But I'm not going to pause it again for this conversation, Deborah. My email is in my about. You can see my Discord in the description. You're on my Discord, so yeah, we'll figure out time. We don't need to waste more time with this conversation here. But yeah, let's plan that.
He said a month ago, I believe.
Officer, when you got to this address, who did you speak with?
I spoke to Mr. Philippe first because he was hurt. He had a big old knot on his hand, and needed to make sure he was okay first. And then I called the ambulance to come in to check him out.
And what did Mr. Philippe Rodriguez tell you that happened?
That Mr. Eric here came in his room, threatening him based on a situation that happened that he doesn't remember, but he came in threatening him, and he was telling him he doesn't have anything to do with it. He ran out the house, and Mr. Eric here chased him with a chair and used the chair directly, the metal part of it, and knocked him on his hand, causing a big old knot. Prior to that, he was in the room telling them that he was going to kill him. A couple of the roommates heard but they didn't want to say anything because they were afraid of him based on the stories that he had told them.
Did Mr. Shillicutt have any other weapons other than the chair?
The chair was the only weapon that we found.
When you arrived there and you talked about Mr. Rodriguez's hand, can you describe what injury that was that you observed?
At first, walking up to it, it looked displaced, like it was broken. As you got closer, he just had like a big old knot. Based on the med aid that showed up, he was hit very hard with the tension of most likely to hurt him, based on how fast it swelled up. But
Was
it
the
was
chair?
nothing.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The chair was still sitting just the way he was attacked, sitting on an angle and with a big old knot on it. That's it.
Did you place this chair into evidence?
No, but I did take a picture of it and place it in the report.
Were you able to determine where the chair came from?
It was one of the chairs that usually sits on the outside porch. According to Mr. Philippi and Mr. Eric, it sits out there so they all can sit if they choose to fellowship together or just sit down together.
Was Mr. Shillicutt still at the location when you got there?
Yes, ma'am. He was locked in his room.
Were you able to speak to him about the allegations?
At first, yes, we did. At first, he said he didn't do anything. And then when I would pull him outside, like, hey, just tell us what happened, because obviously you did do something. And he was like, he didn't do anything. He didn't threaten him. He didn't hit him with the chair. And then two more witnesses who wished to be anonymous pull us to the side and let us know that he did attack him with the chair. And then the person that was outside with him when he was doing it, they didn't have nothing to say. They just claimed they didn't see him do it. But two other witnesses verified that he did do it and threatened Mr. Phillip.
Officer Wildman, those two witnesses, were they residents of the home?
Yes, ma'am. One of them lived downstairs close to Mr. Philippi's room, and the other one wasn't too far, but could hear everything that he was saying.
Did these witnesses indicate whether or not they saw Mr. Shillicutt chasing Mr. Rodriguez outside with the chair?
Yeah, I don't care that she's wearing a hat. She's wearing her uniform. I don't know. I don't know how police uniforms work. It might be part of her uniform. I don't know. I don't care about that. I care about her testimony. That's what I care about. And woo boy. Just deposit. Yeah.
Officer Wildman?
I don't remember definitively if they said they saw him, but they know for a fact that he did threaten him. One of them, I'll say they did witness him hit him with a chair.
Just so I'm clear, you said you're sure that one of them at least saw him hit Mr. Rodriguez with the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
When you were speaking to Mr. Shillicutt, did he appear to be injured in any way?
He had an injury on his hand that was sustained from him using the chair to hit Mr. Phillip. but he claimed it was an old injury that just got reopened back up.
Was there any type of video footage of this incident?
It'll be on the body cam because I was standing in front of him as we saw the injury on his hands.
Was there any type of, I guess, video footage like from a Ring camera or somebody's cell phone that may have captured what happened?
No, ma'am.
I'm
Did
not.
all of this happen in Clayton County?
It did, ma'am. Right there at the address that I was dispatched to.
I'm not hating.
Thank you. No further questions.
All right, Attorney Rogers.
All right. Instead of talking over the video, I'm not hating on the hat at all. She's in uniform. She's in her cruiser. She's working. I don't know the court rules for police officers. I don't. But from the clips that I've seen over the couple years that I've been watching court, they all show up in uniform. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone in hat, but she's in her cruiser. You can hear her radio going off. So I'm not hating on the hat. I'm not hating on the hat at all.
Is it Officer Wildman?
Wildman.
Wildman. Officer so are you the lead officer on this case?
I'm sorry, you're low.
I said, are you the lead officer on this case?
I am.
And all of the conversations and everything that you discussed, they're all captured on your body cam. Is that what you're saying? I said all of the conversations that we discussed this morning, you're saying they're all captured on body cam?
Yes, it's on body cam.
And do you know approximately how many people live in this house?
I want to say, if I'm not remembering, it was about 8 rooms, but all of it wasn't all occupied, but about 6 people, and Mr. Eric would probably make 7. That was there that night.
Okay. And if I understand it correctly, you mentioned speaking to 2 people, but you said they were anonymous. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you recall preparing a police report for this case? I said, do you recall hearing a police report, filing a police report for this case? You prepared a police report, correct?
If I recall filing.
Yes, you prepared a police report for this case, correct?
Sound like you said if I made a report.
Right, that's what I'm asking. You completed a report. Right. And in this report, correct me if I'm wrong, the one that I've seen at least, the only people that you mentioned speaking to are Mr. Rodriguez and Mr. Shillicutt. Is that correct?
Yes, and then further down it says got the statement from 2 other person that wish to remain anonymous.
Right. And those people, if I understand what your statement says here in the report, what it says here, at least the one that I've seen, says that they claim that they heard arguing and people saying things, correct?
I heard arguing.
I said that what your report says about the others is that they heard arguing, correct? And saying,
Yes.
and saying a threat is alleged, correct?
Yes.
There's nothing in there about anybody seeing Mr. Shillicutt with a chair or anything like that, correct?
Nobody's.
In your report, I'm asking, there's no mention in your report of those anonymous people saying that they saw Mr. Shillicutt with a chair or anything like that, correct? And not to rush or anything, but are you trying to get a look at your report? Is that what you're doing right now?
Well, I'm sitting in the car. I'm trying to turn it up as much as I can because you keep going in and out. I'm hearing 1 and 2 words.
What I said, are you trying to pull up your report? I was asking, as far as your report, the anonymous people, does your report say that the anonymous people mentioned seeing Mr. Sillicutt with a chair?
That I'm not quite sure. I don't remember.
And let me ask, as far as the aggravated assault, you said that was based on the allegation involving the knife, correct?
Yes.
And yet no knife was recovered. Is that correct?
No, there was no knife that was recovered.
And did you see any physical evidence of some sort of edged weapon, a blade, or anything like that that had been used against Mr. Rodriguez?
No, I didn't see any. Like I said, for the most part, it was the witness and the 2 people that he had with him outside. The gentleman started to speak on it, and then his partner looked at him and he said, you know what, I don't have anything to say about it for the most part. But
Okay, but I just want to make sure I'm clear. So back to my question about Mr. Rodriguez, did you see any evidence that he had been cut or that some sort of blade had been used against him? Could you hear me okay?
you said if I saw any blade marks on him.
Right, right, on Mr. Rodriguez. Did he show you anything that he claimed was a blade mark? Did you see anything like that?
He had marks of scratches on him, and just where he just explained to me where the knife was held towards him, and that's it for the most part. Like I said, everything is in the pictures that I took on him and placed them inside in the report.
Okay, and speaking of that report, do you say anywhere in the statement, in your report, that there was that Felipe showed you any sort of blade marks or scratches, anything like that?
On his body, yes, there was marks on his body.
Let's be clear on my question. In your report, did you put that in your report, officer?
I don't recall.
And let me ask you about another statement in your report where you mentioned that there at least one person came out of a room and another met you at the front and told you that you should not believe the victim because he lies a lot. Do you remember that part of your report?
I remember putting that in my report, but if I did, it's also mentioned after that, probably most likely that those are one of the people that's scared of Mr. Eric. So 9 times out of 10.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm clear. So you're saying the part in there about somebody telling you the victim is a lie, you put that in the report, but you left out the part that they were scared of Mr. Sillicutt.
No, I'm pretty sure I put in there that most of the people that live inside of the house was intimidated by him.
Have you had an opportunity to review your report since you prepared it?
I did review it a few days ago, but like I was explaining to Ms. Freeman, the internet's been going back and forth and hearing, so it's been loading up for me to get a quick review back into it.
Okay, so as I understand, you did have a chance to review it. And is it your position under oath, are you willing to testify that your report says that all of the people in the house were scared of Mr. Shillicutt?
Intimidated by Mr. Shillicutt, yes.
Right, you're willing to swear under oath that that is in your police report?
Not all the people, just the ones that I spoke to, the two witnesses that I spoke to that did not want to be named in the report.
All right, I just want to make sure we're clear on the question. So you're saying that there's a statement in your report that says several people, some people in the house are intimidated, scared of Mr. Shillicutt. That's what you're saying is in your report under oath.
Well, if you would like me to go back to make sure or try to get access to it, so that way
No question, officer. Are you willing to say under oath, are you willing to swear that that is in your report?
At this point, let me object. The officer has testified that she isn't able to look at her report right now because of where she is with the internet. And Attorney Rogers, he's asking her the same question about will she testify to her report saying something or not saying something. And she does not have her report. She keeps saying to review.
Well, Your Honor.
So, all right, so if she's not sure, she needs to simply answer that. But I mean, if she doesn't know that, just say she doesn't know. I mean, that's simple.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So again, officer, and since you're unsure of what you've reported, how much of your testimony this morning are you uncertain about?
everything that I've said to you is 90% of what I remember being on the case. Like what I said to you, if you asked me, I told you I wasn't sure or I don't recall. That's me being honest, because like I said, I didn't get a chance to review it this morning based on my situation.
Okay. But you did say you reviewed it a few days ago, if I understood you correctly, correct?
Yes, I got the email on the 18th. I pulled it up and.
Okay. And so now you're saying that even though things may or may not be in your report, you're not sure whether or not they're in your report, but you're sure about them this morning, that you're willing to swear to the things that you said this morning.
That he hit it with the chair. Yes, that I talked to Mr. Phillip.
Right. Let me ask you more specifically. The part where you claim that two witnesses came for anonymous witnesses, and at least one of them claims that they saw Mr. Shillicutt attack Mr. Rodriguez with a chair. Are you, even though you're not sure that's in your report, correct?
Not verbatim how you just put it.
Right. And well, no, as you put it this morning, you said that one of the anonymous witnesses claimed that they saw Mr. Shillicutt attack Mr. Rodriguez with a chair. Correct?
I said, I believe.
Okay. I want to be very clear. Unless I preface it with, do you believe? You can assume that my questions are about what you are aware of factually. What do you know? If you don't know, please feel free to say you don't know. I'm not asking you to say you know something if you don't know it. If you don't know, you don't know. So going back to that question, where you claim that at least one of these anonymous witnesses will.
I completely forgot that happened. That was not on my end. I forgot that happened. I am so sorry. I meant to cut that out. I remember hearing that and I thought it was crazy. I thought I might have just made that up, that it happened in my head. I am so sorry that I didn't cut that out. That was terrible. Oh my God. I have so much to say about this and I didn't want to pause it till after the police officer was, and I'm still not going to, but yes, I am so sorry about that. Oh, I can't say sorry again. I'm just going to play.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I said, I don't recall.
And if I understand correctly, Mr. Rodriguez is telling you that he ran outside the house ahead of Mr. Shillicutt at some point. Is that correct?
Mr. Shillicutt?
I said Mr. Rodriguez, Felipe, is telling you that he ran outside of the house ahead of to get away from Mr. Shillicutt. Is that correct?
Yes.
And is your understanding that somehow Mr. Shillicutt was able to grab a chair and catch up to Mr. Rodriguez or get close enough to strike him with his chair? That's your understanding?
Yes, with two more other people helping him that claimed that they didn't do anything.
So now you're saying that there were two other people who
Yes, in the room.
participated. I'm asking, you're saying there are two other people who participated in the assault on Mr. Rodriguez?
Two more, yes. He said two more people was out there with him. When I got there, I spoke with Mr. Felipe, and then another gentleman came out after I got Mr. Eric out the house, and he said these were the two, and the female that came in afterwards, that was a part of it.
Officer Wyman, what question?
Because it was
what question are you answering?
the two people that was outside with Mr. Eric.
That was not my question. My question was, are you saying that Mr. Rodriguez told you that he ran outside the house ahead of Mr. Shillicutt? Correct? Is that part? Okay. And then once he gets outside, he's saying that although he's ahead of Mr. Shillicutt is able to grab a chair and catch up to him and strike him with the chair. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
And so does Mr. Rodriguez claim that he at some point stopped and waited for Mr. Shillicutt to get close enough?
No, he didn't make mention it. He never said how far he was. He just said he ran out the house as fast as he could, and Mr. Eric attacked him with the chair.
And then you testified that the EMS claims that the knot on his hand came from something striking him. Did they explain to you how they ruled out that it came from Mr. Rodriguez striking something?
Based on the knot on his hand and from the time frame of him calling 911 and how big it's swollen.
Right. What I'm asking is, how did they rule out whether or not his hand struck something or something struck his hand? How were they able to tell what impact caused it?
Judge, I'm going to object to that. That is not something for this officer to be able to answer. If she indicated what the medical technicians indicated to her, and as far as her being how they were able to make this determination. Thank you, Judge.
I asked if they explained it to her, if they told her how they were able to make that assessment. That's what my question was. Did they explain to you how?
All right, you can proceed on that question. We can proceed on that question.
Thank you. So did the EMS, did they tell you how they were able to make that determination, officer?
Okay, based on the impact on his hand and I guess the shape of it and how it looked and the chair in place of how he explained it, how he got hit, it matches.
Okay. So they're not saying, so they're saying based on, they're taking into account what Mr. Rodriguez is saying. They're not saying that just from looking at the injury. Is that correct?
They're saying it looking at the injury and how he said he was attacked and the imprint that was left from the chair on his hands.
And just so I'm clear, they didn't make any conclusion about how that injury occurred until, well, at least they didn't tell it to you until they already had heard about Mr. Rodriguez's version. Is that correct?
Yes, they spoke with Mr. Philippi himself.
And did Mr. Rodriguez ever explain to you what happened to the knife?
No, he didn't explain. He just said he was in his room, and that's when the whole knife situation occurred.
Right, and I'm asking, did he tell you where it went? Did he see
No,
where
he didn't. He didn't.
no further questions at this time.
All right, any redirect, Attorney Freeman?
No, Your Honor, just take breath.
Okay. You have any witnesses, Attorney Rogers?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor, unless...
All right. We've heard half of this. Now it's about to get good. Get good. Deborah, I really wish I saved this for when you're on a live. I feel like Deborah knows what's going on here. She's been calling out everything that's happened in this video. And the defense has not even brought out the star witness yet. I just can't wait for the comments. I can't wait for the comments. Everybody, again, I apologize for that noise. That wasn't on me. That was in the video. I meant to cut it out. I completely forgot to cut it out. That little screeching noise. I'm deaf and it hurt my ears, so I can only imagine. All right. Now you ready for the star witness that's gonna make you all laugh and like cry at the same time? Let's go.
Hopefully she didn't get disconnected. Maybe two witnesses, but they're gonna use the same connection, but I asked them to be separate.
Is this Miss Phyllis Lee?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm bringing her over. You may have to, you may have to go in there and tell her how to come back. I tried to move her to the main session, but she's gonna have to join.
Yeah, two? Because I heard
two. Let me put you in there. All right, I just put you in there.
Thank you.
Again, it's about to go down. The star witness, out of nowhere, out of left field. I just don't want to tell you. I don't want to tell you how I feel. I don't. I want to read the comments and respond to the comments, but I really want to tell you how I feel. It's Lucy's fault. It's Lucy's fault. She sent me this video, and I probably should fast forward. I don't. Where's she at? Yeah, we'll wait. We'll wait. I'm not gonna fast forward yet. Lucy, you're right though. You're right. You're right. This witness is amazing. Oh no, I'm actually gonna have to fast forward. I don't know how long this pause is. I'm gonna wait about another 5 seconds before I fast forward. Problem with fast forwarding on a live video is I could end up anywhere. All right, I gotta fast forward. All right. Good thing I did. Yeah, it's about 2 minutes. 2 minutes of dead time. I'm glad I did it. I think
okay,
that.
I think she probably is coming all the way.
All right.
Okay.
Back on mute.
All right, Ms. Lee.
You got her?
Yeah, I think I can see her down there on.
Oh, I'm back.
Okay. All right, Ms. Lee.
Go ahead and call your witness.
I call Ms. Lee to the stand. Ms. Lee, could you raise your right hand, please?
Okay.
And do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you.
Attorney Rogers, just hold tight. Okay, I'm just making Okay, never mind. Go ahead. Mhm.
And Ms. Lee, could you please state your name for the record?
Phyllis Regina Lee.
Thank you. And Ms. Lee, are you familiar with Eric Shillicutt?
Yes.
And are you also familiar with Felipe Rodriguez?
Yes.
And how do you know them?
Well, E, well, I call him E. Eric, I've known for like almost something like 17 years. You know, Felipe Rodriguez, I've been a roommate of his. We lived in the same house for about 8, 9 years. Well, different houses, different boarding houses that our landlord owns, properties. But yeah, I've known him about 8, 9 years.
Understood. And let me ask you, in June, were you living at a boarding house with both of those gentlemen?
Yes.
And I don't want to assume, but in June, do you recall a day that Mr. Shillicutt was arrested?
Can't remember the date. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember the date, but I know he's been locked up about 3 months now. So
Right. I'm just asking
yeah, or so.
Right. And if you were there the day he was arrested, though, do you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was there. I was here. Yeah.
And let me ask you this, I guess. Did you see any sort of incident? Are you aware of any incident between Felipe and Eric that day?
Yes.
And I guess a couple of things. What do you know about the incident as far as, I guess, first question, are you aware of anybody using a knife at any point during that incident?
No, sir. No, sir. A knife was never used.
And let me ask, where were you, I guess, what did you witness that day between Eric and Felipe?
Okay, that's what I want. You want me to tell you what I seen?
Yes, ma'am.
You want me to tell what I seen?
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
I'm sitting on the porch. Eric and Felipe, they've been arguing. This has been going on for like a couple of hours. It wasn't something that just happened right off. They've been going back and forth, getting into it like about maybe half the day that day. And animosity and stuff was just building up on both sides. Felipe threatened E, and some other things were said, but so E got upset because Felipe was saying that he's a pedophile, child molester, something that he was telling people that type of stuff, which is not true. And so they passed some words and stuff. So I'm sitting there on the porch. E is out there. They're arguing, going back and forth. Then Felipe told him that, he'd kick his ass, this and that. Excuse my language, but this is what was said. And he ran toward E. E had the chair was sitting right there on the grass, and E picked up the chair to defend himself against him. He was coming at E, and he ended up, he like swung the chair and it hit Felipe's arm. And Felipe had got a minor scratch, but when the police came, he acted like he was dying. But that's what happened. As far as I'm concerned, he was defending himself from Felipe. And we know Felipe is the one with the knives and stuff like that. And you can look in his record and see he has just recently gotten out of jail from terroristic threats.
I'm going to object
to
the end of that.
Okay, well, okay.
Miss Lee. Okay.
Hold tight. All right.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Judge, I'm going to object to the end part of that when she starts trying to.
All right. We're about 75% through this hearing. She's going to talk for another about 10, 15 minutes. What do we think? What are we thinking right now? We got this guy in jail for potentially hitting a guy with a chair. He's been in jail for 3 months. I just want to put it out there. He's been in jail for 3 months for hitting a guy with a chair. The police officer testified, said what she heard and what she saw. What do we think? What are we thinking right now? Do we trust the eyewitness that was there for the whole thing? Or do we trust the police officer? What do we think? Tell me what you think. I'm not going to start a poll because I don't like polls. And I don't want to have to take down StreamYard to put up a poll. But let me know what you think. Who do we trust right now? The police officer or the eyewitness that was there? Just asking.
Go on about the victim in this case.
And Ms. Lee, I guess I just want to make sure I'm clear. Has anybody given you some reason to be here this morning as far as any kind of threats or incentives or anything like that?
No, sir.
And I think that's it. So, and I just want to make sure I'm clear because at the end it got a little bit confused. But so you're saying that Eric at one point did swing a chair, but it was to protect himself? Is that what you're saying from?
Yeah, Felipe was coming at him. He did pick up the chair, like I said, and swung it, and it hit him on his arm. He had a cut or whatever on his arm. Yeah, I was sitting right there. I'm not gonna deny that. But like I said, Felipe was coming toward him, coming at him. So he had to tell. Okay. Yeah. This is what I've seen. So this is what I know.
Understood. And other than, well, no further questions at the moment. Thank you, Ms. Lee. Ms. Freeman may have some questions for you.
All right, Ms. Freeman.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. My name is Cheryl Freeman. I'm with the District Attorney's Office. I just have a few questions for you. Just to be clear, when you said that Mr. Shillicutt picked up the chair and Mr. Rodriguez was going at Mr. Shillicutt, did Mr. Rodriguez have any weapon on him at that time?
I didn't see no weapon, but Felipe's known to have knives.
No, Ms. Lee, you answer my question. I've already objected to you going into anything other than...
No, ma'am. He just was...
Okay, thank you.
No, he was just coming at him, and he picked... Yeah, he was just coming at him. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I didn't see a weapon. No.
Okay. You were sitting out on the porch during this entire incident, is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
So anything that may have happened inside of the house, you don't know, because you were sitting outside on the porch, is that right?
No, ma'am. All this took place. No, ma'am. All this took place outside. They were both outside. Outside.
Listen to my question, Ms. Lee. Listen to my question.
Yeah.
If something did happen inside, you would not know because you have been sitting on the porch. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would object. That's.
We were all outside.
Oh, 1 second. That calls for.
We were all outside, so nothing happened inside.
Ms. Lee, hold tight.
Yeah.
Hold tight.
Miss
Your
Lee.
Honor.
Miss Lee, whenever there's an objection, I need you to stop talking because the court has to make a ruling.
Okay, I don't know how this works. I'm not. This is my first time with this. I don't know.
I need you to listen and follow instructions.
Okay.
All right. All
right.
First time.
Okay. My response to that is there was testimony from Officer Wildman that when she spoke to our victim in this case, that there were parts of this incident that happened inside. So that is no speculation that I'm on my part. And what I'm asking Ms. Lee is that if anything did happen inside, she would not know because she was not inside. And I think that is a valid question.
And my objections that it calls for speculation because it requires Ms. Lee to speculate whether or not there would have been noise from it, whether or not anybody would have said something, like all these other things that have not.
I overrule Attorney Rogers. I mean, she's simply asking her that if she was sitting outside the whole time, that meaning she could not see if something happened inside if she was outside. I think that's pretty much what Attorney Freeman was asking.
That wasn't her question. I probably would have let that one slide, John. She asked if anything happened.
Rephrase your question.
Yes, my question was just to confirm, Ms. Lee, You were sitting outside on the porch the entire time. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
If there was
I can't
testimony,
hear you.
if there was testimony that something happened inside, would you have been inside of the home to see or hear it?
No, but I know nothing happened inside, and he just.
Miss Lee, hold tight. Miss Lee,
Attorney Freeman,
Yes.
Attorney Freeman, you gotta let her answer.
Thank you, y'all.
Go ahead, Ms. Lee, go ahead and answer the question.
What I'm saying is, look, when the police got here, I seen everything. The incident happened outside. This is what he say. He say, she say. This is how the thing went. I was a witness. I was out there. Like I said, I was out there the whole time. The incident happened outside. We were outside.
Okay, all righty. I get it. We get it. All right, next question, Ms. Freeman.
Okay.
1 second, Your Honor. Miss Lee, did you give a statement to the police when they got there?
No, I did not.
Why not?
Because really, basically, I didn't want to get involved with none of this mess. But when it came down to like all this going down, I said I would be willing to tell my story when E's lawyer had called me or whatever. Because I didn't even know that Eric had got locked up, had went to jail. When the police came and everything, I came in the house and went in my room. And the next day, that's when I found out that Eric had got locked up, you know, Felipe, you know, whatever. Then, you know, so, yeah. But when his lawyer called me, yeah, I said, I'd be willing to tell the truth. I mean, I haven't lied about anything I said. He had the chair, you know, he swung at him. He put a scar on Felipe's arm. I ain't doing nothing but just telling the truth for what I seen. That's all.
Miss Lee, when you found out shortly after this incident happened that Mr. Shillicutt had gotten locked up, at that time, why didn't you contact the police to tell them everything that you're telling us today?
Why would I? He was already locked up. They already took Felipe's word. So why would I do that? But when Felipe, it was time for him to go to court. Like I said, the lawyer called me, asked would I testify. I said, yeah. I mean, you know.
Okay. All right. No further questions, Judge.
Yeah.
All righty.
All right.
Just briefly, yeah.
Okay.
Ms. Lee, there was a lot of discussion about whether or not you could have seen in the house or whatnot. How long had y'all been out there? Well, talking about what you described as far as the issue between Felipe and Eric on the porch and everything. How long had y'all been out on the porch before the part about happened?
This has been going on, like I said, about 2-3 hours ongoing. People sit out on the porch, chat, talk, whatever. Like I said, they have been having this ongoing thing for about 2 or 3 hours, and it just built up. Like,
And so,
you know, it just built up. Mm-hmm.
And just so I'm clear,
escalated or whatever. Yeah.
And so just so I'm clear, the part about the chair, had they just run out of the house when that part happened?
No, we were outside. We were outside. No, they didn't come out the house. Felipe was outside. I was outside. Eric was outside.
Thank you, Ms. Lee.
Mm-hmm.
No further questions.
All right. Yeah. Rex Turbo. Yeah. I'm in Dayton now, actually. I grew up in Cincinnati. I moved up here for a job. So I live right outside of Dayton. I can actually see the skyline from my balcony. So yeah, I'm right outside of Dayton. Yeah. So I'm gonna let it sink in for a minute. What do you guys think is gonna happen? Yeah, cha, Ohio. What's gonna happen? Remember, this guy's been in jail for 3 months for this assault on this guy's hand with a chair. I don't know what his other previous was. I don't think they said it, but he's been in jail for 3 months on this. Let it sink in for a minute. I'm going to wait about 20 seconds, and then I'm going to play. but I just want to see what you guys think. Is he getting out of jail? Which witness do you think was more credible, the police officer or the neighbor? Now we got Columbus. Nice. Oh no. No, we're not neighbors. Yeah, my ex-wife's from Pittsburgh. I'm a Bengals fan. We don't like the Steelers here. Lucy, it's been a good run. Thanks for the clip. It's been a really good run, but yeah, it's just not going to work out. I'm just kidding. No, Pittsburgh's a fun city. I just don't like the Steelers, but I do like Pittsburgh. It's a fun city. All right, what do we got? Pits of the no. We're all talking about where we're from. What do we got for this case? You guys are too easily distracted. Get out of jail. Okay, at least Jonathan Hart at least understands the assignment. You guys are all talking about where you're from. Where is this guy getting out of jail? He's been in jail for 3 months. What do we think is going to happen? That was the assignment. Pat's Cat says, yeah, I agree. All right. I went to Jamestown. There's a Jamestown near. Yeah, I don't know this area well enough to know that there's a Jamestown around Dayton. I don't. All right. Yeah. All right. Now that I've tried to redirect the chat before I play the ending, there's only about 2 minutes left of the video, so I just want to see what you guys all think. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Her name's Heather. Her maiden name. Well, I'm not gonna do that to her. I will not. She's still the mother of my children. I'm not gonna do that. All right, time served. I see some time serves. All right, let's play it. I've stopped it for long enough. Trying to read through these. Let's just play it.
Additional witnesses?
No, man, just argue. Ms. Lee,
Okay.
you put yourself on mute, Ms. Lee. I appreciate it.
Okay, I can hang up.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I'm done. Okay. All right.
All righty. Closing arguments, Attorney Freeman.
The Safeway is opening.
Okay, go ahead.
And Judge, I would ask the court to either
Don't even ask, Deborah. Don't even ask.
log Ms. Lee off or place her on mute.
Placing her on, she's on mute. That's you.
Yeah, I would be asking the court to dismiss all of the charges, honestly. The aggravated assault that's supposed to have involved a knife, they didn't even find the knife. Nobody said where the knife went. Nobody's saying, well, I guess now this morning, all of a sudden, there's a lot of revisions to the police report. We got a couple of anonymous witnesses who have not been identified that all of a sudden have, damaging testimony to provide as it relates to Mr. Shillicutt, even though officer can't swear that that's in her report, even though she reviewed the report a few days ago. And again, these people are anonymous, and they're not saying that they saw anything that justifies any of these charges. Aggravated assault, the most that they said is maybe it would justify a terroristic threat, but we don't even know who those people are. They may not exist without names, or somebody saying, I heard this is my name. Ms. Lee showed up, she subjected herself to cross-examination. And the version that she's explained, it's consistent with the fact that, as according to the officer, she may or may not recall, the question regarding someone telling her that Felipe was a liar. Ms. Lee's testimony runs right alongside that. Additionally, as she explained, she was out there on the porch. They had all been on the porch. Nobody had come running out of the house or anything before this incident with the chair. Ms. Lee didn't try to sugarcoat the situation with the chair. She said that Mr. Shillicutt was trying to protect himself from Mr. Rodriguez's advance, but she does not, the only physical evidence that we have in here, she's the only one that's giving you any real explanation for it. That is at least borne out by any sort of testimony. Additionally, that's why I was asking whether or not they explain, because if I punch a wall or somebody hits me with something hard in my hand, the injury could very well look the same. It doesn't explain how I got the injury. So all they had to go on was Mr. Rodriguez's account to explain how this injury occurred. But if I'm running into something and somebody's trying to throw something between the two of us to keep me from getting to them, and I strike it with my hand, it's gonna be the same difference as if they struck me. And that's why I asked whether or not there was any explanation. There's been no basis given to support Mr. Rodriguez's version of events at this point, at least not from anybody other than Mr. Rodriguez and these anonymous people. Like I said, Ms. Lee said she was out there, saw them when the incident with the chair took place. They had already been out there on the porch, which I get, again, makes sense and goes with the version of events that we actually have, which there ain't no knife involved. So for those reasons, John, I would ask that Mr. Rodriguez's account be completely discounted, and that all charges be dismissed for lack of probable cause, because even to the extent that the battery was being alleged about the chair, that was done in self-defense. So that at this point, there's no basis to charge Mr. Shillicutt, and I would ask that the court dismiss for lack of probable cause. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Freeman.
Thank you, Judge. We're asking all the charges be bound over to Superior Court. We heard the testimony from Officer Wildman, where she spoke to Mr. Rodriguez, the victim in the case, as well as other residents of the home. And even though they wanted to remain anonymous, it's still not a reason to discount what they said to the officer. They heard the threats that Mr. Shillicutt made towards Mr. Rodriguez, and the testimony said that happened on the inside of the residence. Ms. Lee stated she had been sitting out on the porch for a long time. Now, whether or not the threats happened and then 2 hours later they came outside, but she was not aware or was not present during, if anything happened in the inside of the home. The officer talked to the medical personnel who gave information regarding the injury on Mr. Rodriguez's hand. We believe that's certainly sufficient for the battery charge as well as aggravated assault. And Judge, we have a lot of cases where the weapon wasn't found. So just because the knife wasn't found certainly does not mean that it didn't happen. And so at this point in time, we are asking that all 3 charges are bound over to Superior Court.
All righty. So.
All right. Both sides called their witnesses, displayed their evidence. I kind of feel like we all know where this is going. I've seen all the comments. Well, not all the comments, but most of the comments. So I'm going to let this play out. I said like 2 minutes ago, like 10 minutes ago. I don't know how long my videos are. I really don't. I just compile them and then just play them. So we've seen the evidence. The judge is about to rule. I don't think anyone's going to be surprised on this, but I can't wait to see the comments in the comment section. Please, everybody, even if you're in chat right now talking, leave a comment on how you thought this hearing went. But if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. And if you are so inclined, please donate to the Support Colin Demonetization Fund. Not Cromwell definitely will help. I don't know. Again, it changes every week. Until next time, bye.
Based upon the evidence presented here today, I do not find probable cause to bind any of the charges over to the Superior Court of Clayton County. I did not find Officer Wildman credible at all. I did believe that Ms. Lee, I found her to be credible. I believe based on her testimony that she was there. The officer wavered back and forth. She didn't, one time she would say something and then she would recant it. I question the credibility of this officer. So as a result, I'm dismissing all the charges.
Thank you, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May Officer Wildman be excused?
Yes.
Officer Wildman,
Okay.
you're excused. Thank you.
All right, hold tight. Let me do this order really quick.